You have many plans: free college, free childcare, government health care, cancellation of student debt, new taxes, new regulations, the breakup of major corporations.
And we need to make structural change in our government, in our economy.
We know that not everyone is sharing in this prosperity. My plan is a good one, and my plan would be to, first of all, make community college free, and make sure that everyone else besides that top percentile gets help with their education. I'd use Pell Grants. I'd double them from $6,000 to $12,000 a year and expand it to the number of families that get covered. And then the third thing I would do is make it easier for students to pay off their student loans. If billionaires can pay off their yachts, students should be able to pay off their student loans.
This economy has got to work for everyone. A $2 trillion tax cut that favored corporations while they were sitting on record piles of cash, automatic and same-day voter registration to bring in more voters.
I'll give you 10 seconds to answer if you want to answer the direct question. Would you support a 70% individual marginal tax rate? Yes, no, or pass?
I would support a tax rate and a tax code that is fair to everyone. Tax capital
70%?
At the same rate that you tax ordinary income. Take that corporate tax rate up to 28%. You would generate the revenues you need to pay for the programs we're talking about.
I don't think I disagree. I think we have a serious problem in our country with corporate consolidation. It is about time that we have an economy that works for everybody, not just the wealthiest in our nation. I will single out companies like Halliburton or Amazon that pay nothing in taxes and our need to change that. And when it comes to antitrust law, what I will do is, number one, appoint judges that will enforce it. Number two, have a DOJ and a Federal Trade Commission that will go through the processes necessary to check this kind of corporate concentration.
So the way I understand this is there is way too much consolidation now in giant industries in this country. What's been missing is courage. Courage in Washington to take on the giants. I have the courage to go after them.
Which is to pass the Equal Rights Amendment, finally, in this country. And also pursue legislation so that women are paid equal pay for equal work in this country. We need to make sure that women are paid what they deserve.
This insanity must end. As president, I will take your hard-earned taxpayer dollars and instead invest those dollars into serving your needs. Things like health care, a green economy, good-paying jobs, protecting our environment, and so much more.
Well, we've been addressing income inequality in New York City by raising wages, by raising benefits, by putting money back in the hands of working people. $15 minimum wage, paid sick days, pre-K for all. Yes, we're supposed to be for a 70% tax rate on the wealthy. Yes, we're supposed to be for free college, free public college for our young people. We are supposed to break up big corporations when they're not serving our democracy. We can put money back in the hands of working people. And let me tell you, every time you talk about investing in people and their communities, you hear folks say there's not enough money. What I say to them every single time is there's plenty of money in this world. There's plenty of money in this country. It's just in the wrong hands.
We need to make sure everyone has a living wage, raising the minimum wage and creating paid family leave. Then we got to fix our public education system, raising the minimum wage and creating paid family leave.
And we got to realize the people who brought us the weekend, unions, are going to bring us a long overdue raise in America. And I'm proud of standing up for unions. I've got a plan to reinvigorate collective bargaining so we can increase wages finally. It is not right that the CEO of McDonald's makes 2,100 times more than the people slinging hash at McDonald's. And we know that we can put millions of people to work in the clean energy jobs of the future.
We need to go tenfold in our research and development on green energy going forward. But they have to be manufactured right here in the United States of America.
Who here would abolish their private health insurance in favor of a government-run plan? Just a show of hands to start off with. All right, well.
And so my proposal is to do something about pharma, to take them on, to allow negotiation under Medicare.
Senator Warren, you signed on to Bernie Sanders' Medicare for All plan. It would put essentially everybody on Medicare and then eliminate private plans that offer similar coverage. Is that the plan or path that you would pursue as president?
So yes, I'm with Bernie on Medicare for All. Medicare for All solves that problem. Well, healthcare is a basic human right.
So getting to guaranteed, high-quality, universal health care as quickly and surely as possible has to be our goal. Our plan says that if you're uninsured, we enroll you in Medicare. If you're insufficiently insured, you can't afford your premiums, we enroll you in Medicare.
Why are you defending private insurance to
say
begin
they
with?
like this? We should give everyone in this country health care as a basic human right for free. Full stop.
Making sure that every single sick American in this country is able to get the health care that they need. I believe Medicare for all is the way to do that, but making sure unequivocally that no sick American goes without getting the care that they need, regardless of how much or little money they have in their pocket.
And so where I stand is very clear. Healthcare is not just a human right, it should be an American right. And I believe the best way to get there is Medicare for all. There are too many people profiteering off of the pain of people in America, from pharmaceutical companies to insurers, until we get to my goal, which is every American having health care.
And that is that the insurance companies last year alone sucked $23 billion in profits out of the healthcare system.
It should not be an option in the United States of America for any insurance company to deny women coverage for their exercise of their right of choice. And I'm the only candidate who has passed a public option. And we got to have access for everyone. I've done it as a public option.
I think we share the goal of universal health care. And the idea I put out there, the public option, which the governor was just talking about, this idea is that you use Medicare or Medicaid without any insurance companies involved. You could do it either way.
Would your plan cover abortion, Mr. Secretary?
Yes, it would. Just because a woman, or let's also not forget, someone in the trans community, a trans female, is poor, doesn't mean they shouldn't have the right to exercise that right to choose. And so I absolutely would cover the right to have an abortion. Make sure that we fight hard as we transition our healthcare system to one where everybody can get and exercise that right.
I would make certain that every woman has access to the full range of reproductive health care services, and that includes birth control, it includes abortion, it includes everything for a woman.
Should pharmaceutical companies that manufacture these drugs be held criminally liable for what they do?
They should absolutely be held criminally liable because they are liable and responsible.
We need a Marshall Plan for Honduras and Guatemala and El Salvador.
Just for all the American citizens out there who feel you're falling behind, who feel the American dream's not working for you, the immigrants didn't do that to you. The big corporations did that to you. The 1% did that to you.
We would implement a family case management program so they could be cared for in the community at a fraction of the cost. Invest in solutions in Central America, work with regional stakeholders so there's no reason to make that 2,000-mile journey to this country.
And we make sure we use our resources to provide health care, to affirm the values and human dignity of the people that come here.
We can do the things that are sensible. We can do the universal background checks. We can ban the weapons of war. But we can also double down on the research our children.
Senator Booker, you have a federal government buyback program.
It is time that we have bold actions and a bold agenda.
We're going to have a Democratic president, a Democratic House, and a Democratic Senate. I'm going to choose common sense gun reform.
I support all the gun reforms here. We need trauma-based care in every school. We need social and emotional learning in every school. That means a mental health counselor in every single school in the United States.
Universal background checks where you close every loophole. Talked about ending the sales of assault weapons into our communities. Red flag laws so that if someone poses a danger to themselves or to someone else, they're stopped before it's too late.
Give them the offer to buy back their gun. When I was a prosecutor, I supported the assault weapon ban.
If you need a license to drive a car, you should need a license to buy and own a firearm. We need to start having bold agendas on guns.
I run the largest police force in America.
We've passed a 100% clean electrical grid bill.
We in our administration are going to fund resiliency in those communities. We're going to mobilize $5 trillion in this economy over the next 10 years. We're going to free ourselves from a dependence on fossil fuels, and we're going to put farmers and ranchers in the driver's seat. Renewable and sustainable agriculture to make sure that we capture more carbon out of the air and keep more of it in the soil. paying farmers for the environmental services that they want to provide.
And if I'm elected president, the first thing that I would do, like Senator Klobuchar also has said, is sign an executive order recommitting us to the Paris Climate Accord.
I introduced the only bipartisan carbon tax bill in Congress. All the economists agree that a carbon pricing mechanism works. You just have to do it right. You can't put a price on carbon, raise energy prices, and not give the money back to the American people. My proposal, which is put a price on carbon, give a dividend back to the American people. It goes out one pocket, back in the other.
To me, this means better child care for everyone in this country. You need to have public schools that work. The fact that African American women make 61 cents for every dollar a white man makes.
Does the United States have a responsibility to protect in the case of genocide or crimes against humanity? Do we have a responsibility to intervene, to protect people threatened by their governments, even when atrocities do not affect American core interests?
The answer is yes.
And I think we should be ready, Congressman, to intervene.
That's $130 million that we could be spending in places like Youngstown, Ohio, or Flint, Michigan.
It's money that should be going into communities here at home, meeting the needs of the people here at home.
I wish we were spending all this money in places that I've represented that have been completely forgotten and we were rebuilding. If the United States isn't engaged, the Taliban will grow. When we weren't in there, they started flying planes into our buildings.
I'm running for president to solve these problems, to build infrastructure, to fix our broken healthcare system, to invest in communities that have been left behind, to improve public education.
But gave people $15 minimum wage and gave people universal health care. Children denied pre-K and gave it to every single one of them for free.
Service above self. Our White House will be a beacon of light, providing hope and opportunity, ushering in a new century where every single person will be able to get the health care they need, where we will have clean air to breathe and clean water to drink, where we will have good paying jobs in a new green economy.
I'm going to govern with integrity. I'm going to have your back, and I'm going to govern for you.